South Africans are once again finding themselves in shock, disbelief, and growing frustration as President Cyril Ramaphosa stands accused of turning a blind eye to deep-rooted corruption within his government. The man once celebrated as a reformer and Mr. Clean during the turbulent exit of former President Jacob Zuma now faces heavy fire from both the opposition and disillusioned citizens who say he has failed to act decisively against rampant graft in his administration. For months, reports have surfaced linking high-ranking government officials to questionable financial dealings, misuse of public funds, and unexplained contracts. Yet despite the outcry, Ramaphosa has repeatedly opted for silence, delay, or what many critics describe as lip service to accountability. What once seemed like a promise of a new dawn for South Africa is now overshadowed by growing allegations that the president is either unwilling or incapable of cleaning up the mess around him. What sparked the latest outrage was Ramaphosa's refusal to address damning evidence revealed by insiders pointing directly to senior figures in his cabinet. According to leaked documents and testimonies from whistleblowers, billions have allegedly been siphoned from state-owned enterprises, procurement contracts, and emergency relief funds. Yet when pressed for answers, Ramaphosa's office responded with vague commitments to investigate, without suspending or disciplining any of those implicated. For a nation exhausted by decades of looting and economic stagnation, this silence has proven deafening. Social media erupted almost instantly with hashtags like #RamaphosaMustGo and #Unbelievable, as citizens questioned how a leader who once vowed to restore integrity could now appear so compromised. One user wrote, "We believed Ramaphosa would be different. Now he's no better than those he replaced. This is unbelievable." Others accused him of protecting his allies, putting party unity above the country's future, and betraying the trust of millions who voted for renewal. Political analysts argue that Ramaphosa's hesitation reflects the deep divisions within the ANC. Acting boldly against corruption could alienate powerful factions inside the ruling party, threatening his leadership. But ordinary South Africans insist that this excuse no longer holds water. For them, the president's mandate is clear: to lead, to act, and to show courage in confronting rot, regardless of who is implicated. The disappointment is magnified by the country's current hardships. With unemployment at record highs, service delivery collapsing in municipalities, and the economy struggling to recover, many feel betrayed that billions are being stolen while citizens suffer. The contrast between luxurious lifestyles of corrupt officials and the daily struggles of ordinary people has deepened anger. "It feels like we are being mocked," said one Johannesburg resident. "They live like kings while we queue for water and sit in the dark during load shedding." Opposition parties have seized the moment, calling for Ramaphosa to resign immediately. The Democratic Alliance, DA, accused him of protecting criminals, while the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, labeled him a coward hiding behind committees. Civil society organizations are also mobilizing, planning protests demanding accountability and threatening to take the matter to court if the president continues to delay action. Yet perhaps the most damaging blow to Ramaphosa is not from his opponents, but from his own supporters who are losing faith. Many South Africans who once defended him now feel his presidency has become indistinguishable from the very corruption scandals he promised to end. As the pressure mounts, one question hangs in the air: how long can Ramaphosa remain silent before the weight of public outrage forces his hand? South Africa has been here before, but this time the disappointment cuts deeper because so many believed he was the one leader who would rise above the rot. For now, the nation watches with disbelief. The president's refusal to act has sparked a crisis of confidence, not just in his leadership, but in the very promise of democracy. And unless Ramaphosa takes decisive action soon, his legacy may be remembered not as the reformer who saved South Africa, but as the leader who stood by while corruption consumed it.